Hi, you're here with Dave FELDBERG. I'm in Fountain Hills, Arizona on the famous 18th hole in the Memorial, and I'm here with Gatekeeper Media, and we want to talk to you about how this hole would play if I was to approach it at the end of my round. So here we are, we're at the famous 18, 397 feet. They say it's 400, I think they may have changed that, to the hole. And when you look at it, you can see that there's water on the left, and what you can't see is that this path continues, and just above those tree line right there where you see the tree, there's an OB path. So you can't just really play it that safe, because if you turn it over, you'll go over the path out of bounds this way. And if you go out of the water and you don't make it back in, you're out of bounds in the water. So it's a really, really risky hole. And so what I wanted to talk to you today about is how to approach the hole and how to think about it. So you've been at the Fountain and you've played 17 long holes, and you've gone through the hurdles they put you on the front nine, and then you've got to the back nine and you've started to score. Now your round is doing pretty good and you approach 18. So you walk over from 17 and you get here to 18 and you're having a good day. And you look at the hole and you think to yourself, wow, I could reach that, it's only 400 feet. But the mistake is really not worth it. If you go out of bounds right here, you may get a 5 or worse. And if you go out of bounds up there, you're gonna at least get a 4. So what you want to consider to yourself is, do I want to protect my score and keep going, or do I want to put a lot on the line on this last hole? And if you're having a good round, and I can tell you in my career, numerous times myself and other top players, we approach this hole and we just throw a shot out towards those pine trees, which I'll show you, that drops in the middle. And then we pitch up and take a 3. And people think to themselves, they can throw 400 feet, why are they doing that? And the reason is because we want to protect our score to keep playing. The only time you would really need to go for this is if you were on the last hole of the tournament in the past Memorials and you needed that stroke to win. And I've seen that. I've even seen an ace here by Nico Castro to beat Paul Ulibarri by 1 shot to win the tournament. So yes, that was the very last hole of the tournament, but in this case, this year's Memorial, it's the second round. We play 1 round here, the second round here, then we move to Vista. And you don't want to have played 2 great rounds and throw away 3 or 4 shots here just because you think you can make a 400-foot shot. And let me give you some of the reasons besides the obvious shot that is going to cause you to miss. So when you approach this tee, it's a famous tee here, the nice round tees at Fountain, but this particular tee, and it's nothing that anybody did, we know, but the grain of this tee is known to be extremely slippery. And one of the things about this course, even on dry days, this area is a little damper than the rest of the course. So when you walk across, your feet get wet. And then you approach this pad and you can see that when I put it here, I have a decent grip. You see that? But if I step over here into the wet grass and I'm walked over and now I come up to this tee, look at my foot. I'm not able to even grip the thing. I'm literally can't grip the ground. And that is one of the things that people don't realize, is that even though it's concrete, if you get your feet wet and you approach these grains, they're raised. As you can see here, they're raised. And you can feel them, your foot is just going to slide. I think when they put the tee in originally, those raised grains were rough. So it worked, but now they've been smoothed over from years and years of use. So one of the reasons that I think other players who have had a great round don't want to go for this is because it's very easy to slip. And that is how you would go OB either side, by slipping. The other part of it is that you don't want to get hurt. Because slipping on a concrete pad like this and your foot going out and your weight shifting is very similar to what happened to Paul Ulibarri as he fell off the end of the tee pad at a different course when he hurt his knee, and other players. You could really injure yourself, and you still have 2 rounds to go. So that's part of the reason. Now, before I get into showing you, I wanted to real quick talk about, is there any opportunity just to go for it? Is there some reason why I should go for it besides winning? And that's when you're here to have fun. Not everybody here has a chance to win the tournament. Not everybody here comes to win the tournament. And if you get here at the Fountain and you're just here for your vacation like a lot of the players, go for it, because why not? If you go home and you look at the videos, you could say, at least I tried. The only people that should be laying up are people that are laying up for position. So let's see some shots. So first, I think what we'll do is we'll just play it as a casual player. Let me take off my jacket. One thing you do want to do is pack a jacket when you come to the fountain, because the fountain could come on right now and that would change the wind and it would be a little misty because we're so close to the fountain, and you could get chilly even though it's 70 and sunny. So I always bring a jacket. Now you're here. One casual way to play this hole that would be really safe is not to try for much. Just literally walk up to the tee. There's a nice green grass area there. Take a mid-range out, double check your feet. See, I've stayed on the tee pad the whole time. Now my feet are dry and it grips a little better. So take out a nice mid-range, just throw a soft shot. Make sure it's in bounds. Yes, I threw it over by the tree, but I didn't care. I wanted to make sure there was no chance of going in the water, not enough distance to make the path. And from there, I can throw a hyzer or a forehand to the basket. So that's one option. It's not the option I would select. Now, when I come to play the hole and I want to lay up, I still want to play somewhat of an aggressive shot because as you look at the green, it is slanted. You could roll into the water. There's lots of things going on up there. So the last thing I really want is a long approach in for my last shot when I've chose to make the hole easier. So what I'll do is take a power shot and throw it out towards those trees, about the height of those palm trees, and have it drop down in the middle and give myself about a 50 to 100 foot look depending on the wind. So let's see that. Put it out towards those palm trees. Let it come in nice and easy. And there it is. And from there, I have a nice 85-foot shot to the basket that I can throw standstill under control. So that's pretty popular way. Now, let's see another option on what you would do to go for it. Okay? So I would probably choose a fairway driver that has a little distance. I still use a mixed bag, so on this I have a striker. Last one I threw a ballista, and the other one I threw a barred. So on this shot, it's very tricky. You can do it two different ways. You can go all the way over the water, forehand or backhand, and try to come in late by the pin and really park it. I feel that's a really risky way to play it because you've never crossed land. So what I've always liked to do is kind of throw a fairway driver as straight as I can at it. And if I throw it just right, it'll drift a little bit and then come in, and it's not got that steep angle when it comes in, and it'll sit next to the bucket. The only problem with that shot is that if I don't hit it right, it'll flex into the water, but at least I'm up by the basket and I might have a circle three. All right, so let's take a look. Now see how I did that? See how it's drifting to the right of the hole, but then it comes back and it lands flat. Now I didn't park it by no means with that shot, but now I have a makeable putt. And that's what you want to do on your very last hole. On a hole that's really risky like that, you want to go for a shot that has got some risk if you're willing to go for it, but not enough where you're going to really ruin yourself. And if you're going to do it, give yourself a chance to make it two. So you can see where that shot lies. I would say it's about 30, 35 short. And that's a makeable putt uphill. And if you see how I threw it, since I ended up flat down there, I'm going at the basket. If I had thrown the big flex, I'd end up on the right putting down, which is dangerous. Or if I played it too wide, I might be stuck on the edge putting up, which gives you that chance of rolling right back at you in the water. So those are some of the things I want to avoid. Now, another way that you can go for it, and that's just one last thing, and I call it the highlight reel. I'll throw one shot for you guys. I'm not sure I can pull it off, but I'll try for you guys. So how the really top players have decided to play the hole now is to throw a line drive hyzer that goes just inside those two trees, low and hard, and has enough power to carry and skip down to the hole. That's what you're going to see the Garrett Gerthies and those type throwers do on this hole. So let me see if I can do that. I'll call this the bonus shot for you. Don't laugh at me if I miss it. I pulled it a little bit, but that's just how they're doing it, just inside that tree. And usually you get a better skip than that because the grass isn't as tightly mowed as usual. If you look around the course this week, you'll see the grass is a lot thicker than it usually is. But that's the line they're taking with a little more power, and that gives them a chance to get there, and they still have crossed land the whole way. So those are the options I would give you for 18 if you're coming to the fountain. If you're coming for fun, go for it. If you're playing for position, think twice, because it's a slippery tee sometimes, and pressure makes you make mistakes that you usually wouldn't make. All right, we're here at that first shot I threw. It's the approach. I just threw it a couple 100 feet off the tee, nice and flat. The reason I told you this is not a good option for laying up is, look what I have. A path on the right, a headwind, and if my hyzer, it might just jump down in the water. And so in general, this is why I'm saying if you choose to lay up on a hole, you can obviously throw farther than 150 feet, bite off a little more, and we'll take a look at what that looks like when we get up there. All right, now we're to the layup that I was talking about, where I just threw a nice big spike hyzer, probably threw it about 350. And what that does is put you right here past the trees, and you're looking right at the basket. So I would very easily be able to pull out an approach disc, like a stable putter, and I'm not gonna try to make this. There's no reason to make it because I've chosen to play for the 3. One of the mistakes I see is players will choose to play for the 3 and get up here and say, ooh, I can make that. And then they go down the hill and they take a 4 anyway. So once you've committed, commit. So I stand up here, I do a nice little standstill shot, make sure it sits real soft, and now I have a tap-in 3 on the last hole. Maybe I didn't birdie like some players, but I maintained my position, and that was my goal. All right, now we're here at what I called the professional top-level shot that we were talking about. Now, as you can see, I'm a little short with their line, but with their power, they would jump into the circle. So that's important to understand. But even a player that doesn't hit it right, this shot kind of puts you about here, and now you're in a position where you can say, hey, I want to go for it. It's worth it. It's at a position worth it. So that's why a lot of the players are choosing that shot, is because they think to themselves, it's worth it enough where I could go for it, right? And I think that that's important. You know, with the scoring of today, many of the kids are making these putts on a pretty consistent basis. So putting yourself in a position where you can possibly get a 2 and still get a 3, that's the next step to being a top professional. So here I am. Let's see if I can make a run at it. Nope, didn't make it, but that's how it goes. You don't make every putt, but I gave it a run. It was chain high, it had a chance, but now I have another drop in 3, and I think that's the professional play. Now let's go look at the hero. All right, now we're here with the other option. As you can see, I threw the striker over the water the whole way. I was over land here, so I would have maybe been out, if I flared, I would have been out of bounds about here, right? And I take my meter and I've got a putt save opportunity. So that's not so bad. And since I hit the shot, I have a chance to make the putt. So let's see if I can do that. Oh, knee braces. When you're old, you get knee braces. Mine just popped off. Let's get it back on. Here we go. All right. So as you can see, it worked out for me. Maybe I'm not going to make that putt every time, but I was able to make it this time. So let's see. Full layup, didn't look good. Pro layup, easy 3, you see it laying there. Pro half attack shot, give yourself a chance. I didn't make it, but I still got a 3, and I had a look, and I'm going for it. Over the water, just inside the circle, I was able to make a 2. So these are the kind of choices you'll have when you get to 18 at Fountain. Just remember, make the decision that fits your game the best, and you'll have the happiest result. Until next time, you've been with Dave Feldberg with Gatekeeper Media, and we enjoyed your time.